But first things first, this game does not count. All right, if a team has their second best player missing, I'm not counting that game. If the Sixers were missing James Harden and Jaylen Brown played, I would not count that game. It goes both ways. Regardless, this game don't count in terms of saying how is this matchup going to end up looking like. It could tell you a lot of things, and what it told us about this and what this matchup will look like in the second round.
Brown did play against the Utah Jazz. He had 12 points.
Now let's get this straight. The Celtics just try to play Embiid cleanly, not touching him, straight up, just show bodies, and he dropped 50. That tells you something. You may just have to foul Joel Embiid.
2 games in a row.
Now that's what's going to make or break Boston. This is what's going to make or break Boston right here. Them deciding to take threes instead of taking the easier twos. You see a lot of times, it doesn't matter who it is on the team. They'll have a slip to the rim, but they decide to pop and take that three. Now in the playoffs, you're not going to be able to hit shots every single night. So you need to find the way to get the easiest bucket you possibly can. In situations like this, the lane is open. You see PJ Tucker rotate, but even if you get this rotation right here, so then you kick to Smart, now he gets a three. You got to play with the 2 in mind first before you try to go and just take that three.
My man. And your brooch. That was nice.
Hey, you see that ball getting Embiid's left hand? You should already know a hezzy pull-up is inbound. Now, the thing is with this hezzy pull-up, right? A hand up top is not going to do much, especially at players at this level. So the way to disrupt a player's rhythm is to try to just make them think, make them second guess. And so on situations where you see that ball on that left, you can maybe just bait that hand in a little bit just to make him second guess, make him hezzy, because that's what's going to make a player mess up and not really having a hand up because they don't see that hand. All right, I know this is Mike Muscala. He's a three-point shooter, right? But still, I trust any player in the NBA to be able to catch the ball in the middle of the floor if they make this slip to be able to make a play. You're in the NBA, I know you could at least make this decision right here with a 2-on-3 on this side. So instead of trying to prioritize this three, boom, you get this slip. You got to make Embiid step up, and he's going to try to probably stun at you, fake at you. And then what's going to happen when Embiid does that? Oh, just go to your float game. You can't block a float. Simple as that. But then they end up taking this three. It's a clean look. He created a lot of space, but is that the shot you're going to want to take against the Milwaukee, against the Philadelphia in a 7-game series when it could literally go down to 7 games, where it could be split 3-3, and that could be a matter of possessions where you could have changed and got buckets instead of settling for threes. And by the way, make sure you subscribe, like, and turn on notifications because we drop breakdown videos daily. And if you want to catch my breakdowns live, make sure you go hit that link in the description, go follow, and let's get right back to it.
Also very much in the mix there.
Once again, I know it's Luke Cornett, but this is what's going to make or break the Celtics. If they're going to try to chuck up threes every night in the playoffs, there's going to be some nights where they may be off, or there may be nights where you're still going and the other team is still going. But on the other hand, a team like Milwaukee, they got a guy like Giannis who's going to get to that rim, and then he's going to be able to do it anytime he wants. And if you're just trying to turn it to a shootout, his teammates will turn it to a shootout, and Giannis will attack that rim and get those paint points. So getting these easy opportunity twos, throw this in the middle. Niang's not coming over. If somebody decides to come over, somebody else dives, you kick out. If you're worried about Niang, shake up Muscala. Boom, hit Muscala. Muscala hits Cornett. Cornett, make sure he seals this right here too. All right, Mix. Hey. All right. Now, I just peeped he hit Al Horford with this ball. The best option for Philly, how I think they should approach the series with Boston, second round, get them into foul trouble. Because if you're going to straight up try to play a game of half-court offense, is just in the hands of Embiid. And Boston's defenses, I feel, would be able to do just enough to win the half-court game. But if you could be able to take players out their rhythm, get them out their usual rotation minutes, get them out early on in the game, that could even that playing field. So I feel like that's something they should place an emphasis on going into this Boston series. Now, on the other hand, Boston, though. Now, I feel like when Boston enters this matchup, though, they're going to be sending these double teams, of course. You're not going to let Embiid play in ISO. But they're going to send these doubles very timely at a point where it's going to force somebody else to make a play and that ball can't get back to Embiid. So it'll probably be somewhere towards that second half of the shot clock or an opportunity like this where you can make him panic and maybe make him overreact and just make a quick decision, get that ball out of his hands. So now, boom, he gets his kick out. You got 10 seconds left on the shot clock. And now are you really going to swing that ball over to Embiid and tell him to go? Or is somebody else just going to make a play? So I feel like that's something Boston will do. But those doubles are going to come sporadically and it's going to be able to throw off Embiid's rhythm. So watch out for that. And that's what it's going to be like. They don't like the matchup. They're going to send a double, and it's going to end up forcing somebody on the Sixers to go and take a shot, to go and attack, to go and do something that's not Embiid. But now Philly's got to be ready to knock down shots. And I'm pretty sure they have the highest three-point shooting percentage in the league. But, I mean, in the playoffs, that should be a little different. Tension, the pressure, and all that stuff. So we'll see if this Philly squad is really more than about just shooting threes in the regular season, but also being able to shoot threes and make them when it really counts.
Starting role tonight. Embiid, shake and bake.
All right, like I said, if you try to guard Embiid cleanly, just guard him straight up, he's going to embarrass you, bro. Now pay attention to Boston's team defense.
Harden double team now. Muscala backs off.
Give me 1 sec.
Screen from Reed. Harden the zigzag.
It's a great defensive possession by Boston.
6. Harris spins again. Graham with the shot clock down to 2.
It's a great defensive possession.
Get a shot off.
And finish it off. It's not like you saw one player just contain the ball all by themselves. It was about not just the player on the ball doing what they need to do, but also the help defenders be able to come over on the ball screens, the players be able to tag the other players that were cutting. They're all just helping each other out. Defense is a team game, not just an individual thing. It's a team game.
Embiid against Griffin.
And then Griffin made a play right there. Boom. You know, it's going to be tough to strip Embiid going up into anything, right? Because we know he does that low rip through, like I've said. But there's going to be a few times where that ball is going to be exposed. And there's certain moves where the ball will be exposed, which is on a crossover like Embiid does right here. Did a little push cross, and now that ball ends up in front of his body instead of him being able to pull it all the way to his hip, towards the side of his body, and be able to bring it up like this over the top of that you hitting it. And if you do try to strip it, you're going to hit his arm first. So now, boom, he hits his crossover, the ball is in front. Griffin makes a play on that.
Boston up by 4 under 5 minutes to play.
Another opportunity. Now I'm gonna let you see how this play turns out. Let you see how this play turns out. That's to break the Celtics in the playoffs. They can't be 3 hunting so much, you know. When you got opportunities to get twos, and he ends up slipping this out right here to the 3, you can put a ton of pressure by getting to the paint right here, then get a wide open 3 for Horford. And if not, say Blake dives underneath because MB comes over the help, dump down, boom, 2. You got to prioritize the 2 first, because the 2 is going to make the game a lot easier, especially in situations like this. Make this slip to the rim, you got a bucket. And then he has to try to get into his bag, try to find some sort of separation with like 7 seconds. You don't want those plays to happen in the playoffs because, like I said, those games are decided by a matter of possessions. And if you could have made the another opportunity for the 2. Now, it wasn't as clean, as obvious as the one I showed before, but peep this though. Play your pivots. Play with your pivots. Play with your triple threat. You got to pirouette, right? Now imagine if he had this right here. He didn't take this dribble back out to that 3-point line. He got right here, held his spot, and then seeing if Maxey was going to stay and help or he's going to go to White. Because look at this angle that he has to the rim. I want to get it a little further back for you. You see Maxey already stepping out. So Maxey already stepping out. It's meant him taking it that way. That lane should open up. And if it's not open by the time he takes that one dribble, kick out to White. But you got to hold your pivots and be able to really play the 2, play the paint before you go and play the 3. Because he literally catches his turns and just takes that ball right back out. Prioritize that too. And boom. This is where Philly began to really close this game out. PJ Tucker hit 3 big-time threes in this fourth, in his last like 3 minutes. But now let's look at Boston though. You got the switch of Tatum on the Embiid, and now you play Embiid from the middle of the floor. But what's the best way to play this? Now you got PJ Tucker on this side, and they overloaded this right side. So this side, since it's being overloaded, there's less space, which means as a help defender, if you're trying to rotate, there's less space for you to cover. Whereas, say you send this double from this side, this rotation is extremely long. And at the end of the day, you give a guy like PJ Tucker, who's been shooting corner threes his whole career, there's a good chance he knocks it down, right? And so on Tatum's part, he's got to make sure he sends this to his help that's overloaded. Because say Williams does come over on this double and forces that ball out of his hands to go back to his right side, White could be able to play Harden and Maxey long enough to allow Grant Williams to get back. Whereas he allowed MB to get left, and now Horford had to get there. So a situation like this, you kind of got to play him no left. You can't play him no left because you got to send your player you're guarding to your help. And that's just an easy 3 for PJ Tucker. I don't care how cold he may have been throughout the season and what he is over the past couple of games. That's an easy hit for him. That's what you're going to live with if it's Philadelphia. And, you know, these plays are like, damn, their momentum changing. But, damn, they're violations. Watch his foot. Watch his foot, all right? Watch that left foot. Watch that left foot. Come on, bro. Can't be missing these ones, bro. You can't be missing these. You can't be missing these because these are huge buckets right here. These are huge buckets. These are big-time buckets. These are premier buckets. And he gets away with it. Now they're up 6. That changes the whole dynamic of the game.